Hello, and welcome to BonkTable. I'm Mass, and with me today is my wonderful co-host, Cassandra.
Hi.
And we pulled out of the printing room the person who has to suffer with all our merch and all our nonsense, our wonderful, great, and amazing intern, Skillen.
Hey.
Yeah, you're the
fresh
intern.
Off the, fresh out of the spawning pits.
Yeah, we've risen through the spire through all your nonsense, have been allowed to speak.
Yeah, we squeezed one out. Here he is.
Do you,
like, I kind of,
as a marksman clone, do you have a belly button?
I'm definitely not a marksman clone.
What's your Spire Sona?
Yeah.
Oh, my Spire Sona is obviously the infiltrator variant of the high clone executor. Considering that, I infiltrated the Vanguard position,
That's
and
true.
I fucking scouted that shit out and set it up.
Damn.
You know what? Yeah, perfect.
This what I like is that we're getting, not only are you getting a great episode of the BonkTable podcast, but you're also getting the tea.
The deep lore.
The deep lore. It's every time one of you motherfuckers start posting Garfield shit, I'm like, oh, I'm one step closer to hell. Like, that is... Yeah, there's a lot of shit that goes on with BonkTable, so if you're not part of the Discord, you should join for tormenting me with fucking Garfield. I'm getting sick of him.
I don't know how you can get sick of Garfield. He's a timeless American icon.
Do you? Okay, hold on. There is...
That shrinkification Garfields. That thing lives rent-free in my head for like the last day or two.
So there's... Oh, what the fuck is this thing? SCP-3166? Is this Gorefield? Also known as Gorefield? It's a Euclid. I know there's Gorefield. Okay, let me go find Gorefield. There we go. Okay, it is... Yeah, it is SCP-3166, where it's Gorefield, where it's just like this evil version of Garfield will come out and like eat people whenever Garfield sales are down.
That's very
here we go.
Late SCP pilled.
Yeah. Is an SCP that manifests from the Garfield comics, a monster that force feeds lasagna to its victims. Oh god.
That's like...
These are real nightmares I have.
That's crazy. That would be a fun nightmare.
Yeah, for you Garfield freak.
That would be a fun
Don't
one.
Garf shame me, Jesus. What do you...
There's no kink shaving on this podcast.
Yeah, unless you're Garf pilled, in which case apparently open season.
Please, no more. Send all your weird Garfield shit to Cass and save me.
See, I'm just
Nothing
I just
is gonna save you.
enjoy. I just enjoy observing all like Derangioid stuff that shows up.
Oh my god, Skillen, there's so much behind the scenes content of just weird shit happening between Cass and I that now you're privy to, so I hope you start enjoying yourself on these moments of what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, remember that time we kissed in front of the wall?
No, the wall fuck back. Stop trying to make the fanfic real. People thought we were dating.
Why? People ship us. We need to lean into that.
Oh no. It's like that South Park episode.
I have more to lose from this. I don't want people thinking I'm into guys.
I don't want people thinking I'm into women. Wait a minute.
See?
Fuck.
Wait.
Oh my god. Alright, so...
Well, then who's on first?
Yeah, so our topic for today is Rise to the Top. So we're going to go through every Conquest faction besides the Yaoni, simply because they're so new that we have to do an episode all about them and figure out what the heck is actually going on.
I tried to learn about them, like, look at the rules and stuff, and, like, forget it. You stupid.
Did your brain get fried?
I found out where I max out in terms of being able to understand this game, and it's those guys.
That's why you stay
I'm
safe
never gonna wrap
indoors.
my head around it, yeah.
Like straight up, every time there's like a change or something, I'm just like, yeah, I have no idea. I'm like, not even going to bother trying to just like abstractly like conceptualize what these things do. I'm just like, I got to get to the table and I'll just test it out and I'll figure it out there.
I'll accept my lumps.
Yeah. See, that's my approach. But then also, I'm like, I add a special final step, the Cassandra touch.
Ew.
I don't learn anything from the experience. Not internally, not externally. I don't grow in any way. I actually get worse at the game. And I think that's the trick when new rules come out, is to hit the table, test it out, don't learn a thing.
Well, when everyone else is in the state of confusion, right? If you're staying at about par, then relatively speaking, right? Everyone's like the playing field is re-leveled, right? So right after a new balance patch drops, that's theoretically when you'll be doing your best with that approach.
Yeah, it's fair. You know what? There's a bit of me, not gonna lie, waiting for a version 3 for Conquest, because I'm actually kind of excited to see what the fuck would happen. We gotta wait like 3 years though to keep it on the GW timeline. So, yeah, rise to the top. We're just gonna talk about each faction, find the best thing in each faction, and then we're gonna put them in a list because everyone loves lists, and to find what is truly the best thing in the game. So that will include characters and regiments. So whatever's on the browse function of the army builder, basically.
And you know, I mean, it's just gonna be raiders, so we can save a bunch of time. If
we gotta find like at least one thing that competes against raiders. We could
clears
find
raiders.
Yeah, one thing that competes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that's okay. You know what? I'm pinning that to the top of the mountain.
Yeah, you climbed that sucker and pinned it already?
Yeah, so I'm gonna put that tentatively at the top of Mount. I don't know. I should have had a funny mountain name lined up for this, and I just don't. So we're not gonna worry about that. But so far, I think they're the ones to beat just right out of the gate, because everybody knows the situation with Raiders right now.
And they even tried to nerf them, and they're still good.
Yeah.
Unnerfable.
You can't nerf them. You can't nerf the Raiders. Okay, well, you two ready to start with 100k?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's actually 3 things in the faction that I would deem the best. Surprisingly, still, Order of Ashen Dawn. Who would have thunk it?
Yep.
Very, very good stats, very good abilities. Yes, they got hit by a ton of nerfs, but I think they're still really strong.
Look, when your nerfs are just you can take less of them,
and your point cost goes up.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing though, right? Different ways of saying the same thing. When the nerf is just you can take less of them, they're good.
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't think we have to deep dive into Order of Ashen Dawn and why they're good. Everyone has felt Ashen Dawn.
Very high stats and blessed, like some of the best rules in the game. So,
next, actually coming in from the rework, I want to put out there the Archangel. She kind of fucks, to be honest. She's like,
I could have told you that.
Yeah, well, we tried her out. I've tried her out twice now, and she fucks. She does not give a fuck, and she kind of just beats ass.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's not the spear version is just good.
No. That was the entirety of the joke. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the spear version is surprisingly tanky, and it doesn't do insane amounts of damage, but it does enough damage that it'll you'll be dead at the end of it. And the sword version, I think, probably has higher damage output, but the tankiness of it does so much for what that's the niche that the faction needs filled.
Yeah, because you're not getting it from the Ashen Dawn anymore. She's also the best source of cleave 2 in the entire faction. And she is the divine purpose bubble. And she also benefits from her own divine purpose bubble, so she's just like running on the table at March 9 for her first march, and so she's like running 16 inches up the table.
See, we were just before things got rolling here, or maybe just after, I don't remember. But we were talking about how Cleave 2 kind of is just that's where most of the regiments that are having trouble are at. But when you put Cleave 2 on a monster, wow, dynamite.
Well, she doesn't, like, monsters don't deteriorate, so they're getting their full attacks and damage, even on one wound. While stands just kind of, like, you lose attacks and damage as stands die.
You remember when it was per model, though? Wow.
Yeah,
What
God.
a pain.
Well, the other factor too is that, like, Cleave 2 is in and of itself whatever, but the fact that this is a creature that is already tanky, like you said, doesn't deteriorate, and it basically speed buffs everything around it. That just happens to have Cleave 2. It's like, oh, okay, like, yeah, I'll take this extra thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's not its main selling point. That's just a nice side perk that's like, oh, okay, cool.
No, there's a bit of me where I think it, like, a bit of its main perk is providing the speed bubble around it. And then
It's
also
huge.
12 inches? I'm like, fuck yeah, keep that.
And think of, like, the more units you have that are benefiting from it, the more beneficial it becomes. And you're not going to kill it, like, super quickly, so it's like, well...
Yeah. I was originally only wanting to play one, but after I played one, I was like, you know what would be really good? A second one. And since I played that 2 Archangel list, I'm like, yep, double Archangel, I don't care anymore. She is now my bae, she is my waifu. We're going to put a Ronnie hat on her and give her a Moonlight Greatsword. I'm happy. Do you guys want to know my third pick for best thing in 100k that's actually like a bit of an underdog, but also surprisingly good?
Let's hear it.
Household Knights.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, they're good.
For
Good
the
stuff.
listener, the reason why Household Knights are good is now that they're mainstay, so you can easily get them. You throw them in the Mounted Noble Lords Warband, so they all get veterans, so they go up to Class 3, so they can actually hit stuff. On top of that, you make the Mounted Noble Lord a Warlord or a Dynastic Alliance guy, so he's projecting a bubble of 8 inches of re-roll your defense and attack rolls. So they're going to be 4s re-rolling 6s, what's your best off output, and they're going to be 4s re-rolling 6s, what's your best defensive output. And on top of that, you're going to combine them with Theus so that once per game Bless goes off and they all get blessed. And they also, the Mounted Noble Lord projects an Indomitable 1 bubble on them, so they are incredibly hard to kill and just take a lot of damage. So they'll kill anything that's not designed, like doesn't have a ton of cleave. Well, I don't know if they'll kill anything with not have a ton of cleave, but they'll take those hits and they'll start just like kind of punching back and like chewing through. So I actually really like the new Household Knights.
Yeah, the main thing about Household Knights, in my experience at least, is it's just you need to dedicate something to kill them. They like otherwise they'll just keep living, and then like it'll slow down your army, and then something else will come up and like reinforce them, and then you get isolated. Like they're good for like stopping you, and then like allowing you to isolate a unit.
Yeah, they're also combined with Divine Purpose because you're gonna make them Theus. They go up to March 9, so they're very speedy. What I like. Everything else, I think these are like the 3 contenders currently out of the faction for like what's best. I'm leaning Archangel. What about you two?
Are we gonna talk about like are we gonna have a character pick?
No. If there's an actual like good character in here, yeah, we'll talk about why. Do you think there's a character in 100k that is better than these 3 regiments?
Is it better than all of them combined? Is it better than is 24 plus 1 guys better than 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 guys better than 1 guy?
Yeah.
Not better than 1 guy?
The Theus Priest does make the whole army have blessed for a turn.
Yeah, no, it is very good, but also he is
I don't know.
The Archangel just gives out Divine Purpose for fucking free once she's within 12. And you have to take him to get her.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, they're kind of a package deal.
Yeah. Well, okay, so in the Race to the Bottom episode, we picked the Sardar because he was just like the worst thing in.
He just does nothing.
Yeah, he really just does nothing.
Contributes nothing
to the entire faction of Sorcerer Kings. While like all their regiments had places to be, all their other characters had places to be, he was just obviously the worst.
There's something that I thought about after the episode that I think we didn't fully consider.
Okay, what's that?
What if he is a personality hire?
No.
What if he's very charismatic and just is a good addition to the team?
Are you projecting that onto Skillen?
No.
I'd rather just have like a Rajkur captain rather than the Sardar. It's like,
but who would you rather stand at the water cooler with and talk about the game?
The Rajakur. Or the Raj.
The Sardar captain? Or the Rajkur captain, rather.
Yeah, the Raj. He can
Interesting. I think your first answer belied the truth, which is what I think.
I actually completely forgot that the Sardar existed.
You're welcome.
Just hearing that word, my brain got hung up on it. I'm like, what does that guy even look like?
just a slightly better armored Rajakar.
I think every faction should have a party character for
yeah, but the Mimic Assassin and the Sardar.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the Mimetic Assassin.
Yeah, just like he's just there to have a great time, not winning any games.
Okay, so as an aside on the Mimetic Assassin, what about this is kind of like something I thought about over the last couple days, where it's like, rather than being a separate character, which is already dumb, you only want the Mimetic Assassin there to protect your like weak ass character. So like a Biomancer or a Ferromancer. Why not just make it kind of like, you know how there's like the rider thing? He's just like an
just
upgrade
have the Biomancer riding the Mimetic Assassin.
Well, he just becomes like attached, right? And he's just there bodyguarding him, like the Biomancer.
We're bringing back
you just
retinues.
Put them both on the stand. What's that?
We're bringing back retinues.
Well, kind of, but you just make it so that he's like a character upgrade, but like he gets attached to the thing, and then you just use his profile for fighting duels. So it's like, oh yeah, this dude is just here to protect me. Like the Mimetic Assassin is a better bodyguard than an assassin per se, because like duels are irrelevant 99% of the time.
Oh yeah, I think I tried to duel you last night, and you were like, "Nah, whatever, Mass. I don't care." I'm like, "Oh,
yeah, like why? Why would I throw away my warlord?"
I'm like, I have 2 health left. Let me duel you. Come on.
No,
no. You're just like throwing rocks at me. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'll just explode at you until you're dead.
Yeah, I was really surprised when you were like, "Oh yeah, the Deso drones have lethal." I'm like, "Ah, fuck."
So I was playing Bernie a while ago, and he just like ran in and just murked me with like a stand of veterans with like 2 wounds left, and killed the entire unit. And then that thing was still alive, and I was just like, and his warlord was in there, and I was just like so frustrated about it. And then like afterwards, I like look up the rolls, and I was like, I had lethal. Like you would have at least lost your warlord too.
Fair trade, to be honest. I would sacrifice all my warlords to kill like a Biomancer and a Ferromancer.
Oh, it was only the Biomancer. I think the Ferromancer was still alive somewhere. I don't remember.
That's how I know you're 100k pilled again, is you're talking like you're rich in warlords.
I am rich in warlords.
Yeah.
That's why I get 2 of them, motherfucker. Well, one of them's an ally, but that's okay. We all need an ally.
Warlords.
Mr. 2 Warlords over there.
Yeah, you know what they say about a guy with 2 warlords, huh?
Yeah. Like Scrooge McDuck. I'm compensating for the fact that the majority of my faction is wound 4.
It doesn't matter anymore. They're fine.
Yeah. Okay, which one of these fucking bastards between the Ashen Dawn, Household Knights, and Archangel do you think is the best in the faction?
I think it's the Ashen Dawn still.
Oh, okay. Why?
Because they're just a big, stupid bumper car. Like, you can't mess up.
I feel like the Archangel, though, does that, and also makes every other unit better.
She really does.
Like
If it's
so
not the
crazy.
Ashen Dawn, it's the Archangel for sure. But I just think in terms of like,
I don't know. I've run into too many people who play Ashen Dawn badly to just like you can play them so badly that like I don't know. I killed like at least 2 units of 5 of them, and then was working my way through like part of a third one at one point, and I was just like, okay, we're just gonna keep killing horses.
Damn, who were you playing?
Like you can mess up with them.
Were you playing Nick?
I think so.
Yeah, poor Nick.
I mean, I lost that game because I was just getting stuffed back so hard. But yeah, I
What
think
the
I killed like all of his. Like I killed almost all of the Ashen Dawn. And I was just like, oh, that was when I was still learning the Directorate too. When Leonines were like brand new.
Yeah. No,
was
I
a weird
do
game.
agree. Also, Ashen Dawn only being able to take it as MSUs kind of reduces them.
oh yeah, I didn't think about that change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going with the
I think
Archangel.
that- yeah.
I think she's 100K's pick for best thing in the faction.
Like really, what pushes it over the edge is she does the same stuff, but also enhances every unit around it. Like it's so good.
Also, she's baseline evasion too, so she can survive cleaves and smites.
Yeah. Yeah, just very solid durability. Can get blessed too.
Yeah.
So
We have found out. She does not care.
I mean, it's not all the time, but I mean, again, as a Spires player, you don't need blessed all the time. You need it for the turn that it matters.
Yeah, and so if you can get that turn correct, I'm not gonna lie, I was actually thinking of blessing one turn before I actually did, and I'm glad I saved it.
Oh yeah, that would have gone badly.
Well,
for
it would have
you.
gone nowhere, to be honest. I would have.
Yeah, you would have got no value out of it, and then the brute drones sitting at that edge of that pond probably would have actually like done some damage, and then I could have probably finished it off with the volley from Marksman clones. Yeah, instead of, I only shot the Sicarii because I was like, well, I'm not going to kill that
Poor
Archangel
Sicarii.
anyways.
Poor Sicarii.
And they hadn't activated yet, so I was like, yeah, I'm just going to take away one of your tools to like hurt me more.
No, that was really fair, because those Skitarii were either A, gonna go in the zone, or B, we're gonna go charge those Force-Grown drones and try and kill them.
They were literally doing the swiggity swooty coming for the booty pose, and I was like, oh, I don't want that.
Coming for that marksman booty.
I was just like, oh, no.
Should we go to Spires then?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Skillen, I'm gonna give this one to you. What are like two, 3-ish things that are the best in Spires?
Okay.
Can be characters or regiments, or regiments.
Okay, there's a couple things I want to talk about. Strix would have been on here, are not on here anymore.
Strix no longer Skillen's best friend.
Skillen is Andy dropping them on the ground.
They still, well, that's maybe some other units. They still are incredibly good, just inherently a speed 10 flying unit that can take can take burnout or can get buffed. Just insanely, like they're insanely flexible.
Notably, a regiment that did not make the cut for best in the match.
Well, okay, so the best, I think we have to like talk about like the Biomancer, the Ferromancer, and Marksman clones.
Ooh, okay. Which one do you want to start with?
Okay, I'll start with the Ferromancer because the Ferromancer dropped off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The reason the Ferromancer is amazing is the Ferromancer can buff speed as a free character action, or it can debuff an enemy unit, can give it -1 defense as a free character action. You have to pick one of those two. One of the reasons it fell off is because it got a range debuff to induce lethargy, the debuff enemy thing. So it used to be 10 inches, is now 8. that means you need to be way closer, and it's just it's not as easy to just like, you know, hit the enemy with the big old -1D. You know, it's hard to shrink
hit him
their
with that D.
You got to get closer to
Well,
shrink
it's
their
just
D.
one, so it's not
Well,
gonna be a
you can
big
stack.
hit.
You can stack though. With
Hit him with that
with
stacking
the
D.
drone.
It's not the same though
Well,
for either person.
truly, yeah. You know, you want to do that from further away. And Deso drones can do this from 12 inches away now. So the Fairmounts are still incredibly good. Being able to give your units +1 speed is amazing, and the buffs that you can get, it's basically the big ones are you can heal 4. You can, and all these shift around your deck. So the unit that gets this sinks to the bottom, but you can once you get used to it, you can play around it. So it's not that much of a limitation. So you can heal 4, which is pretty good. You can siphon strength, which gives +1 attack and gives you, I think it's dread. So the enemy can't be inspired against you. That's quite good. What is it? Yeah, induced vigor is tenacious 1 and reroll morale rolls of 6. That's very good on specific units. You want something with like defense 4, resolve 4, right, and then you're just like you pass most of your rolls, and then you like tenacious you tenacious off like whatever slips through, and then you reroll any 6s, so you're only failing your resolves on 5. So like right target, induced vigor basically just means for free you get to take something that wasn't at the bottom, which is useful for comboing with the Biomancer, because you want the bottom card can be your next card, or it can instantly activate if you're the Biomancer. So you can go afterwards and then sync something to that coveted bottom slot on your deck. So like that's really, really strong. And then Ferromantic, I think, is it Ferromantic Compulsion lets you clash twice. It's kind of niche, but when it comes up, it can be really nice. Like generally speaking, if you can Ferromantic Compulsion the shrimp, you're getting like 2. You're effectively getting 10 hits with 10 smite hits. With like terrifying 2.
Ferromantic drive allows you to take the 2 of the same action, so that allows you to clash as well.
Yeah.
Ferromantic compulsion inspires and rallies you.
Yeah, that one like it.
Who gives a shit?
Basically, it did. I don't know. Use it if you have nothing better to do and it's relevant. It's like I don't know if you're doing that, you're like trying to lose less. You're not trying to win. That's not going to turn around really anything. So realistically, it's like. Siphon strength for extra attacks, no inspire, accelerated hibernation for heal 4. That's just inherently strong. Ferromantic drive, double clash, good on specifically on like the shrimp because you don't the burnout doesn't really matter that much, and you're going to smoke something. And induced vigor is like a defensive buff that lets you shift your deck around. Plus on top of all of that, you're also getting either +1 speed or what is it?
-1 defense.
Or induced lethargy. You know, shrinking their D. So
please continue.
This is like and this thing has like just a disgusting warband, right? So it's what's allowing you to take Strix. It's really one of the only ways to. Well, I think it's the only way to get Strix. It has force-grown drones. It has. I don't know. It's a character that like kind of is faction defining. So there's that. Then there's the Biomancer. Biomancer heals its unit, can heal other stuff, whatever. That's like basically not as important these days.
Is that basic Spire's bitchdom right there? Healing people?
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, you can heal the chip damage from the burnout you did. Cool. Or like, oh, the unit that you're in that you don't want to be dying, oh, you're healing it, you're probably fucked. So the thing is that this boy got the Deso drones, which also can shrink the D.
Damn.
So it's like it's really good. Like reprocessing agents, right? It's like AP1 deadly shots. Like I like Deso drones better than Leonine Avatara. Leonine Avatara have like a tendency to get murdered because they're big. They can do a lot of cool stuff, but I've just never. I don't know. I'm too smooth brained to get them to work as well as like they theoretically should.
Your Bugman is showing.
Oh yeah, no, I'm 100% a Bugman enjoyer. So yeah, like the big things
I'm
are
into
you
some
have.
weird stuff too.
I mean, like, look, we all got our vices, okay?
No kink shaming on BonkTable.
So like,
Nope.
Biomancer got like a serious glow up in the last update. Well, like not the most recent update, but last time that he got new stuff. Proximity sensors just means you can use his biomancies on anything that's in a zone, which is really good. The things you're going to be using are primarily grant virulence and unstable enhancement. Unstable enhancement is just +1 to clash and volley. You're using it primarily for +1 to volley and +2 movement. Sometimes you use it to instantly activate a unit after you have granted virulence. You then unstable enhancement, charge across the board, and then punch them in the face, and then maybe some of your dudes explode. Harvest Essence doesn't matter, or like it has not. Basically, ignore this 99% of the time. Catalytic Rupture, it's Spire's version of a gun spell. It's okay. It's situationally good, but it's okay. And then Essence Transfer is you take the top card of your deck and the bottom card of your deck, swap them, and then the new top card of your deck immediately activates. It's very good. If you like, it allows you to manipulate things that you've put at the bottom of your deck to allow them to like. So you could do something like, you shouldn't do this, but you could buff something with the Ferromancer, put it to the bottom of your deck, activate your Biomancer at some later point, and then buff that thing with like, say, grant virulence to give yourself deadly blades and deadly shots, and then Essence Transfer into like activating that thing immediately without triggering decay, which is important, and then proceed to like, I don't know, like murder something. Like, I don't know. It just, these two characters kind of define a lot of like the Spire's playstyle. So without them, you don't have like the faction doesn't work. Like that's kind of like the big thing. Like Spires doesn't function as a faction without these, because otherwise you just have like a lot of stat lines that need these buffs.
Yeah, that is true. Like there have been times where I've taken out your buffing characters and you kind of just fall apart at that point.
Yeah, like it sucks. So Strix still good, but anything that can reliably like rocket across the board and murder something with all these buffs is just inherently good. It's kind of like the other thing, like, okay, other honorable mention, Vanguard clones. Vanguard clones are just the thing that consistently works. They're fast enough, right? They have Vanguard. They have a lot of attacks. When you have these kinds of buffs, like almost all these buffs benefit from more attacks. So more attacks, more good.
You mean number go up is good?
Basically, yeah. Like Spires in a lot of regards is like number go up, win. If number not going up, you're probably not winning.
Also, the Biomancer as Warlord gets a bunch more abilities. He gets like Burnout and then changing people's class to medium and then Rally. Like those are also great abilities.
Oh, yeah. Like scoring on lights and then
Burnout just on one thing per turn. Well, it's just good.
It's not that he gives it. That's just the faction.
Yeah.
The sub faction just grants that. His other thing is he can use a Biomancy to unbreak a unit, which is kind of irrelevant on Ferromancer most of the time. So like, I don't know. I've just most things in Spires, it's like, well, if you're already broken, like if you live, you have a single stand. Like unbreaking them, like through a Biomancy when you could make something better and like murder it, like you're doing acts of desperation at that point, I think. Or you're trying to unbreak things so that you can heal them, at which point it's like, this is again like a trying to lose less situation. I don't know.
I'll get you there.
But yeah, so it's like, I don't know, Vanguard clones just consistently good. They run onto the point, they stand there, they kill other things, more attacks. Incarnate Sentinels, they're good in some lists. Like,
you were going to talk
don't know.
about the Marksman clones.
Oh yeah, Marksman clones. Marksman clones are great because they have 22-inch range and they get 5 shots.
Yeah, and I hate
like
them.
Nothing else matters because, like, realistically, nothing else in their stat profile is like that important because long range, lots of attacks. Like, that's what Spires wants, right? Like, if Marksman clones are the ranged version, Vanguard clones are the infantry version. Well, the other thing about Vanguard clones is that when they have the high clone in them, you can bastion up to defense. It's defense 2 with shield and bastion 1, so they get to defense 4 if the enemy, or like if they don't have line breaker and they're in your front arc, you have defense 4. That's like quite nice.
The big one.
Yeah, you want that big D.
Bigger than D1.
Bigger D, more good.
All I'm learning is that Spires will shrink your D and increase their D. Fucking vampires of conquest.
That's biomancy, baby.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? That makes me understand demographically so much more about the faction.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They steal your D and make it their own.
Oh my god.
They're D-pyres if you think about it.
I mean, it just seems like, you know, a real man would play the hand he's dealt.
Unlike,
and not trying to cheat it.
This is playing the hand that you're dealt. The way to do so is
by being a D siphon.
Exactly.
Sucking D up guys and then giving it to other guys.
Oh boy.
This is just like letting Skillen record with us, I think, is the biggest mistake that Mass inadvertently made, because Skillen is really low key, but we're both we both experience the weird parts of the internet the same way, so he brings out the worst in me.
Every day is just more suffering.
That was one of those things where it's like, at first I was like not really sure I don't know, I wasn't sure what to make of like anybody in the local conquest scene, just because it's like, well, you know, like,
you just showed up one day and was like, oh, let's get a
basically game just showed up with like a whole bunch of, well, I mean, a reasonable amount of Spires, and then just, that's what I've been doing ever since. But yeah, after like talking with Cass for a little bit, actually, Cass, you're the first person that I played. Like, I can't remember what reference I dropped. It was like some obscure reference, and you just like responded like kind of like subtly, but like you understood. And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah. Like, we're cool.
Yeah, I remember that actually, because at first I wasn't, again, I don't know what, I'm so like, just because of, you know, reasons, I'm a little bit leery of people who play war games that I don't know until I get a sense of who they are. And that's, you know, like, it's not something I do to be unfair to anyone, it's just I gotta know where things are at, and, but yeah, once that, and then us both knowing that guy also helped me be like, this guy's cool. The local auteur.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, please. I haven't explained that story because I did not know the guy, and I was like, oh boy. Ooh.
You make it sound way worse than it was. It's a local, like,
kind of was
quasi notable person, and I just don't want to necessarily like talk a bunch of mess on somebody who, inadvertently, I guess, or anyway, we've really derailed the podcast in this.
Yeah,
the
listeners know.
There's like multiple people that it could be now, and I can't remember what it is.
Oh, that I was just thinking about the guy who
Jesus Christ,
who made those movies.
Oh, yeah, that guy rules. Yeah, that guy is awesome.
Now I think it's someone else. What the fuck?
Oh, we need to have a movie night, Mass. We need to have a movie night.
Which
so
movie?
you can learn about the secret of
The secret of Nim? Like, what?
Star Robot, my star.
Yeah, there it is.
What the fuck?
Yeah, we need to watch some movies about a guy in a gorilla suit, and also like he's wearing what I believe to be like a trash can, like one of those like Superstore style like trash cans, like the tube with like the rounded top. And like vacuum cleaner parts. Yeah. And there's a guy in a gorilla suit. Oh, this is like
that
really amazing.
That sounds like a joke from 30 Rock, but it's not.
Yeah, like this is actually just me describing the movie.
It's real.
Okay, fine. I will watch this movie.
Baby.
As long as we can watch so good. Psycho Gorman after.
Oh, I love Psycho Gorman.
It's so stupid. It's just like God
damn. Okay, so I want to see that because that one passed me by for whatever reason. So I'll take that trade.
Are we gonna have movie night now?
Yeah, let's do movie night.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I'm back in 2 weeks. We can do movie night then.
See, people come here for the conquest or whatever, but you know what they stay for? The sincere adult friendship.
I have received messages about our podcast where people were like, I appreciate your podcast because it's so real and like down to earth, and it's like I'm like
because you don't rehearse and you don't try.
No, yeah.
Well, the reality is though that it's like, oh, you're actually friends. Like that helps. You know what I mean? It's just like, listen to us just talk shit. Like, I don't know.
It's so funny when people like say shit and they're like, oh, why are you like mean or like to this person? It's like because we're friends and they're mean to me as well. Like we do dumb shit to each other.
This is how adults interact.
I do like to imagine year 5 BonkTable, like where we just hate each other. Like it's just completely like, and it still won't make money for us or anything. So there's really no reason for us other than I just know that we're both stubborn and like
refuse to give up.
Yeah, on the podcast we still manage to have the same believable dynamic, but the second the computer stops rolling, it's just instantly like cold and
we don't even say bye. We just like disconnect and go from there.
Yeah, the last thing you hear from me at the end of the recording is the cigarette lighting.
That's pretty key though. Actually, it's like the Zippo flick, and then like the tink.
Yeah.
That'd be so good.
Oh, that would be good. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it's either between the Biomancer and the Ferromancer for me. I think the Biomancer kind of takes it though.
Yeah, it's the Biomancer. It's the Biomancer combined with
Cash.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue too much. This is like 3/4 of a bit. Because nobody's paid attention to me for a little while until the part where everybody did, but that's not important. So I do think you ultimately are right. Like the characters enable so much that you have to look at them when you're deciding what the best unit in the faction is. But I also think that choosing that is a little bit of an extra smart kid, like actually answer. I just want to make sure that that's registered before the podcast.
Oh yeah, but I'm a Spires player. I am that guy. Like this is how it is.
That's just it. Like
I've played enough games against Carl.
Spires is the faction.
Yes, it is.
Spires is the faction of the actually like
nice try proving your point.
Yeah, like
the guy who imagines the chip flavors or whatever.
Jesus fuck.
Okay. Like the way I would put it is this, right? The units are just like rice. They're like rice or bread, right? They absorb all of the delicious sauce that makes the meal good. Like
I don't want whatever the fucking Biomancer is excreting out of him, okay?
What is this? Where
I don't want the smells from whatever the Ferromancer is excreting out of him.
The sauce comes from the Biomancer.
Oh, no. I've been hit by that shit before.
You live by the cloaca, you die by the cloaca.
Exactly. Okay, so the reality is it's like Vanguard clones are the melee flavor of rice. Marksman clones are the ranged version of the rice. The Biomancer is probably right now the better of the two because he always goes in like the Deso drones are just where he lives. So that's like a package deal. So effectively, the Biomancer gives you a 12-inch. His unit gives a 12-inch D debuff.
No, it's a
So the
14-inch D shrinkage.
Oh yes.
It got
He'll shrink your D. He'll shrink your D from 14 inches, which is just better than 8 inches. Doesn't need line of sight, but whatever. You're like, figure it out. Master of Flesh is giving you insane combinations that make the faction work. The problem is I don't know about Underspires. I have not played it, and it was very strong a while ago. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that like nerfed brute drones and like all the units that were like amazing in that kind of got nerfed. So like I think right now either you can play Sovereign Lineage or Directorate, and those are like the stronger of the two. And I like Directorate more. I think it just has more flexibility, and the Biomancer is the most flexible character that lives in the like a unit that is really good and makes everything else in the army workable. Like without the Biomancer, Spires kind of isn't that good.
Yeah, that's fair. Glory to the Biomancer. You're in the you're rising
He's back
to the
on top, baby. Back on the top. Good to be the king.
He's excreting his bodily fluids all over everybody, and they're liking it. You guys ready to talk about Dwegholm?
Sure.
Okay. It is weird. I don't know if it's weirdly, but like, because Dwegholm hasn't been receiving any love since the start of version 2, more and more nice things go away, but there's a bit of me where I just want to say it's like, it's Flame Berserkers because of the light scoring from the hold ray, so you can be like super aggressive. It's the Tempered Sorcerer riding a fucking Hellbringer Drake, because that gun is just like ridiculous.
It's not a gun mass.
He's firing his laser.
It's a tube that you magic through.
Okay, sorry. The tube that I magic through is very good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And
Or is important to me.
I like to imagine it's a sounding rod.
Yikes.
And then there's a bit of me for the Ironclad Drake because it's a great closer. But I feel like the Flame Berserks overrun the Ironclad Drake. I really think this is between scoring Flame Berserks and
I vote
like
Flame Berserkers.
And Sorcerer riding that goddamn Hellbringer Drake.
Okay, you know why I vote Flame Berserkers?
You can't stop Zerking.
Wow, we didn't even bother to explain any of this, but we're already on to voting phase. Cool, yeah, go ahead.
Well, okay, like this is partially my explanation. Flame Berserkers are in every one of the lists that matter.
Yeah, it's true. And now they score.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, and they just got better. Like, how could I, like, I don't know. Everything else, it's like, it's not necessarily in the list. When it's in the list, it's good.
Any serious list is gonna Zerk at least one out.
Spicy meatball.
Okay, here's the thing. If Flame Berserks were mainstay and were not restricted to 2 per warband, I would literally put 8 in a list with a hold ray and double Ironclad and call it a day.
That's a good list.
Yeah, I'd be like, yep, we're done here. Get swamped, motherfucker. Like, I love turns when I was playing Frenzied Flame or like Ray Goons, where I would just be like,
Ray Goons?
Yeah, I fucking lost that game to Carl, and he's like, you have to refer to it as Ray Goons now, and I'm like, fine.
That's so good.
The recording, I figured out why my recordings weren't working. There's that button above tab but below ESC. That was my stop record button.
No.
It was like hotkeyed, and I was like, oh my god. So I went through the hotkeys and removed it. I figured it out. So that monstrosity never gets to get shown, sadly.
That's the tilde key. And
is that what it's called?
On its name.
Yeah.
All I know is that's the key to activate cheat codes in Elder Scrolls.
The tilde
is useful.
Is how you signal something that's more enthusiastic than no exclamation mark, but less enthusiastic than an exclamation mark when you're talking to people.
I never knew that. Thank you. I learned.
All I know is that the single tick mark, like the non-shifted version of that key, is just how you make things appear as like code in like TypeScript or like in like Discord or whatever. How you like
Really?
make things like bold or whatever. That's the one that you use for code.
I've also had my tilde use described
Didn't do
as
it.
slutty at times, but I can't really account for that. I'm just reporting that it has happened because it's never been my intent.
There you go.
So just in case you heard about the tilde from me here and you're like, that's useful, I'm going to use that. Just be aware.
Oh, no, you have to do this.
What do you mean you have
Hang
to
on.
do this? He's typing. I'm watching him.
Got to do that. You have to put one at the end.
You have to put one at the... Okay.
Yeah, it's like every Discord thing.
Oh my god! Hog!
Nice.
Oh my god. Okay, so back to Dwyco. Flint is, yeah, we've had talk. They're fast, light, and they can score when they're with the hold ray. They can also score if you get the score spell off from the Argent Killua, but the hold ray just gives it to them all the time, so you never have to worry about it, and the hold ray doesn't have to be on the table. He can be dead. It's always happening. It's very powerful. For the Tempered Sorcerer, this guy, he kind of wants to just run in Magma. That's the best casting school. He wants to be on top of a Hellbringer Drake because that's a great, the baby carriage for him is what I've called it at times. And on top of that, his army rule is the shit tickets. What if you've played into a Dweghome Castle list, you know the pain that is the shit tickets where it's like, oh, I charge in and I do 10 hits and my opponent just gets rid of 5 of them right off the bat. And then saves 3 of them, and then I only do 2 boons. Like, that was great.
Nah, man, the tempered shit tickets.
Yeah, the tempered shit tickets.
What you do is you use 3 on the defense rolls, heal that shit back, and then 2 on your resolve.
And heal that shit back.
Yeah, heal back 2 more. So that's effectively 5 wounds mitigated, 10 wounds healed. Yeah. And then you just laugh at your opponent for making your unit stronger by attacking you.
Yeah, so it's either between shit tickets or fast scoring currently. And just
the problem, the reason that I don't like, I wouldn't pick the shit tickets is specifically because you have to get the spells off to do that, and he requires a lot of support to do that. The Flame Berserks are just good all the time, no matter what.
Oh yeah, they don't give a fuck about anything. Also, the shit ticket lists are much slower, and the current meta is all about speed and early scoring, what the Flame Berserkers do.
Yeah.
I'm giving a fuck, just zerking it.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, just raw zerk it.
I have raw zerked a lot of people, and I quite enjoy just slamming those motherfuckers down people's throats. Okay, here's another great thing about the Flame Berserks. Turn 1, if you get all 4 on the table, you just run them up in like a big line, and then you get into charge range with all 4 of them. And if you win the roll-off, you're going to be up 2 pieces minimum. Like a positive. If you lose the roll-off, so the best you'll do is usually like up 2 pieces, sometimes even 3, what's fucking insane. And the worst you do is you equal trade with your opponent. Like, that's how great the 4 Flame Berserkers are. As peace traders. Like, they just, either you will gain more pieces, or you will just equal trade with your opponent.
Wow, it reminds me, this is almost a preview of what's coming up. Oh.
Is the next one Nords? Yes!
It's almost like there's a theme.
Yeah, so Flame Berserks, yay! Okay.
Yeah.
Like, there's not much to talk about for them. Cassandra, tell us about your Nords.
What are your favorite toys?
Yeah.
I mean, so obviously Raiders, I think, are a hard one to argue against overall, just because they're practically perfect. I mean, Raiders are the captain, of course.
Yeah. Sorry, the 100 and now 40-point unit. That's a light-looking fucking score.
Yeah. They're just really based, like, as I said earlier, it's a speed meta. So and nobody's doing it better than the Raiders. Because they are getting the infantry buff as well in movement that the Nords got in their last revision. So you're getting 6 inches of movement. So they can and a standard is just baked into it. Yep. So you're getting an extra inch, which much like
More
1D.
inches.
It's not a ton in a vacuum, but it can make all the difference is felt. Certainly.
Hey, 1 inch can make a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all in how you use it. But they can get up the board and they can get on the points and they can bully. And if you're using a Volva Warlord, they're just a huge pain in the ass. Just a
so she
tremendous pain in the
loves
ass
that
to-
1 extra inch of D, doesn't she? Because she gives them the 1 inch, that +1 to E, right?
I'm just saying.
There's layers here. I don't think she likes the first part, but I think you're right on track with the giving them more E.
I'm just saying. Look, you'd be surprised. Like 5 inches, not the same as 6 inches. You need at least 6 inches.
Yeah, and then an extra 1 on every other.
Every other March in.
I mean, if you double move.
Yeah, so they're like it's everything else like kind of pales in comparison, and it's such a cheap package to get it too.
Okay, well here's the thing. Flame Berserkers 160 with Hold Ray Warlord. Raiders 140, but includes the captain for light scoring.
Yeah.
Is their offensive output different? Yes. Will the Flame Berserkers win that matchup? Yeah, they'll just kill. They'll just annihilate Raiders. Raiders also
But
got
that's not-
Tenacious 1.
Yeah,
But also Raiders are 20 points cheaper than Flame Berserkers, so you're just gonna get more Raiders.
And they have flurry.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, it's I mean, like blow for blow, they don't go up against Flame Berserkers, but I think that's
well,
the wrong.
I feel like they'll just
You're
Yeah.
doing the
trade-
wrong
they'll
thing
piece
if that's
trade
where
into each
you.
other very well.
Yeah, but I mean that just feels like a misapplication of the Raiders at the end of the day. But I think, yeah, I don't
Hey,
know.
just
They're-
hit them with more raiders. They're
Yeah.
cheap.
The
other
list is
two
8 Raiders and 8 captains, okay?
So the other two, I guess that we have to go for right at the moment or go through. So okay, I love Valkyries. They're very strong. They're almost an auto include currently for the most part, but like I don't. They're just solid. Like I don't think that they have the sauce or the
Well,
juice or the spice
They alone are not going to win the game.
I think they're a
or the
great...
honk or the zap. Like they
Yeah.
they solve a problem for the faction.
Yeah,
which
like they're
is
a great
staying.
anvil, and they also are a great bunker for the Volva to start casting all her spells onto the Raiders.
Yeah. And so I think it's
Yeah.
Raiders. So the other one that you would commonly argue for in the faction is Bow Chosen, and they're
You know what? Yeah, please continue. I wanna add one in here as well after.
I think they're so good, but they have Slingersitis where they're such an appealing target that it's like, well, okay, I know I'm gonna lose these right away.
Well, people have to deal with them. You can't just let Bow Chosen win. They're volley 3 base at 5 barrage. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're 14-inch range, and they also have the precise shot rule. Like they're killing
Yeah.
anything they touch.
Yeah, no, I
You
think
can't
we're-
let
I think
them
we're saying
live.
the same
Yeah.
thing from two different. See, I'm saying this as a person who has them. You're saying this as people who hate them.
Yeah, they have
But
to die.
ultimately-
Oh, I
we're
don't
saying
hate
the
them.
same
They're just
thing.
a thing that needs to die.
Yeah,
That sounds hateful to me.
good.
Well, if we want to play more than a few turns, that's like I see them as like a lose condition. If they're just on the field by like the end of like if they're on the field on turn 6 in range of stuff, it's like, well,
I'm fucked.
things are gonna start to go
Boys.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's
Sounds
been
like you're
times
just making my point.
like Volva and her block of Velix has just a cock blocked me, and the Bow Chosen just kept slapping me in the face over and over again, and I was like, I fucking hate these things.
Yep. So I honestly I think we know where this ends, so I just want to talk about some units that I think are good in the faction. I think Fenner have lost a little bit with the Vanguard adjustment, so I think that they don't have the same amount of
You know
coolness
what?
as they used to.
You know what the biggest thing they lost? Flank.
Yeah.
I think that was
That's
even worse than the Vanguard change. Like the Vanguard
Losing
change
flank.
was much bigger because before they go up 18 inches now. What's still respectable and fine, but not having
Yeah,
that as an
that's still
auto
pretty
in
good.
is on turn 2 is much different.
I think the Sarks probably would have been my third choice for a possible best unit in the faction.
Oh,
just
yeah.
because they're so good
Yeah.
right now with the Savage.
Oh yeah, I would have 100% put the Sarks in. Like March 6, Savage for that free charge. You can March Charge Clash. You have 5 attacks at Clash 3 with Cleave 2 and Tenacious 1, and you're vanguarding up the table. Like Sharks are a perfect turn 3.
Yeah,
I want to emphasize something. It's not just a charge. It is a free additional charge, allowing them to charge twice.
that's the freest, most additional charge you can have.
Yeah, like your
That's
Bear
so
Sharks
good.
are 200 points no matter what. You're buying the Savage.
Yeah.
The Rock Poop
Yeah.
Man is now legit. Dude, he looks like he's taking a shit on a rock. Like
The rock poop meta is
Yeah.
in full effect. Yeah, no, I think they're but that's the thing, is in any other faction you'd be like, that's one of the best, but in the Nords you're so spoiled for choice that you're like, that's really great, but I don't think it's the best.
dude.
Yeah.
Dude it. Nords is a fantastic faction. But like
Yeah,
Scoring Raider,
I've never been arguing. I was saying that they were before they even got made better.
yeah, they were
Oh, yeah,
they were good
yeah.
before. Just people were like, "Oh, my Nords died," and it's like, you piece
Well,
trade.
you're playing
People
them
were
wrong.
like-
Also, all the Nords regiments punch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
But
kill things
all
that
the,
are bigger
all
than
the
them.
diddlers want to go, you know where,
I'm gonna diddle.
right at the middle.
I just kill me, please.
And so they just keep sweetening the pot, and meanwhile I'm getting type 2'd. No, I mean, I need all the help I can get. I'm not good at this game, but even still, I can recognize that it's like they've probably gotten too much good stuff. But whatever, that's not the discussion right now. But I mean, you know, is there anything else that you guys can think of that is really?
There's a bit of me that wants to say Goat or Beast Pack, but I want to see them played first before I really.
That's
put
the
that in.
thing. I'm looking at them and I'm like, well, this is interesting, but and also they have, so the problem is like, and it's also a problem that the Fenner have, is that you don't necessarily want to do a blooded, as like before it was like, or a Vargar Lord, whereas before, you know, it was more of an auto in to have them in the warband, and now it's like the options that you get from other stuff.
You could actually run a Vogni Lord with 3 Gold or Beast Pack, and all 3 of them could come on turn 2. If
That
he was
is
the
pretty
warlord.
nasty.
Yeah.
But
I don't think
I-
I want to honorable mention the Goat or Beast Pack because they look fucking ridiculous for what they are.
they do seem like they're on paper, on datasheet, they look pretty, yeah, like kind of silly,
Well,
but kind of.
They got their
Kinda
Clash
good.
3. They got 3 impacts at Brutal 1, what's pretty good. So that's going to be some damage, even if you roll crap. 5 attacks. And they have Linebreaker. Don't forget about that. They have 5 attacks, which is really nice. They're unstoppable on their March 6, and they have Trample 2 after.
To
and
be
they have
honest, though, saying like, oh, they have Linebreaker, like to me, in my lived experience playing this game, that's like saying, oh, they have a hang glider. Like, cool, but it doesn't matter.
Sometimes it does not matter, but other times you're like, well, you now ignore Bastion and Shield and just get in there. Because Linebreaker also works on the impact attacks.
But they, after the great debastionization of Conquest, I feel like it's less valuable than it used to be.
Well, because they used to put Bastion on fucking everything, and it was terrible. 'cause
Yeah,
you'd only
now
get
they
it off on
they
one
don't
thing.
put Bastion on nothing.
Yeah, well, they put it on like 2 things per faction
No.
because they realized that it was bad on everything.
It's the same thing that keeps happening in Conquest. They're like, oh, we need to like get rid of all of this, but instead what we need to do is then put flank on everything. And then they're like, maybe instead we should put Vanguard on everything. And they're just going to go through all the special rules.
It's so this analogy sucks. Like it's an unequivocally bad analogy for how PB does balancing, but it also is correct. It's like if they were like we need blood, so we're gonna flood the place with mosquitoes, and then they have a mosquito problem, so they're like, okay, let's dump 100,000 spiders in there, and then the spiders take care of the problem, but now you have a spider problem, so then you're like, okay, well, let's put some, I don't know, 50 or 60 pretty mean rats in there, and I think that solves the problem. I don't know what the web of predation is
This
in
is
this case.
I think it was Hawaii. I forget what it was. Either like Hawaii, New Zealand, Australia. It was one of them where they had like a rat problem. So they dropped in a bunch of snakes, but the snakes only hunt at night while the rats are asleep. So the snakes just kind of ate other things, and then they had now a rat and a snake problem. So they brought in like a bunch of mongooses, but then the mongooses only hunt in daytime. And so, like, they wouldn't hunt the snakes, and it was just like, God. So now they have
like, okay, this is the focus of the game right now, and they open up the hopper, and it all pours out, and then that gets to be too much, and then they're like, okay, turn off the hopper, and they turn it off entirely, and then they flood the thing with it. Again, this is another torturous analogy that had nothing to do with the previous one, but they flood it with the second hopper of shit.
This just sounds like a Spires analogy. I'm just saying, like, you're just writing Spires fanfics right now.
Oh my god.
Well, okay, sorry, a valved anus.
No. God, no.
I mean, like the classic Spires solution
I
is
heard you, Mass, making a note of this to edit it later.
No, the listener can suffer with me. I'm like, yeah, people are gonna watch like episode 1 BonkTable to now and just see my slow descent into madness.
I love I like jokes about the computerization of body horror, which seems really niche, but if you think about it, it's also intuitively funny. So like an addressable anus is like as part of the Spires machinery.
Right? No, what the fuck?
Like you like you control it from a terminal remotely.
What?
See?
Oh man, this actually opens up so many potential.
No.
And the keys on the terminal, they're teeth.
Of course they are. Of course. What was that?
What is it? This reminds.
What's that fucking game?
You're thinking of that game, aren't you?
Yeah, the one where it was like all the
Scorn.
Yeah. Was it all the K or C? No, it was C. I remember this.
Yeah. The K Scorn is the shitty faction I play.
I spelled game wrong. The Scorn, the 2022 survival horror game, but was inspired from H.R. Geiger's work, and like, oh my god, I've seen
my head. I was like, H.R. Giger. No,
I
said it, and we all cheered.
Is it Giger or Geiger?
You said the line. It's Giger, actually.
Is it Giger?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I'm going with my second incorrect choice because that's the one that I've adjusted to.
Look,
so that's the one I'm dying with.
Giger sounds stupid, but what is he like?
He's dead now.
Is he Dutch?
He's from Switzerland.
Oh, Swiss. Okay.
Oh,
Well, whatever.
so
One of those places where they speak like herky-durky language.
Wow. We're gonna get.
They know it's
Swiss
true.
chef all over again.
Yeah, exactly.
Swedish chef. Wow, we're done for. This is
Well, no, we're retconning it to be the Swiss. Look, it doesn't matter, okay? They're not American.
That's true.
What the fuck is
They don't know how to tip.
Well,
my
like
God.
as far as white people go,
Who doesn't know how
like,
to tip? Hold on, I can't keep my stereotypes straight.
Somebody
yeah,
can. they're European, so they inherently don't know how to tip.
Yeah, you
I
know
don't
that.
know. Well, it's not part of their culture because they're not white. You see.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Look, white is a culture, and it means American. It means wasp.
Imagine a hamburger.
Oh, what
Hamburger
fucking hell have
imagined.
I unleashed?
BonkTable 2025, baby.
Mass already lighting that cigarette, Mass. Carjack me, please, right now. I need a boost. Oh, okay, so we're saying Raiders are the best?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
they win games. They are the best.
Good
They
job.
trade up, they score, they do it all.
They are. You
They
are
flurry.
the apex predator of Nords.
They tenacious. You can cast spells into them if they're on a point, which is where you want them to be. They're just fantastic. Beautiful stuff. Anyway,
Brings
I'm
it
going to
to-
stop holding this up for no reason.
Well, it's okay. You're next. Wadroon, go.
God, I don't even know anymore. Let's look.
Veterans.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's just veterans. Like, I don't know. Let's go over it here. Christ.
Not the cock? Not the cock of death?
No.
I think cock of death are bad. I think we figured out they are bad.
They're just.
I think
they
you
do
mean-
one thing, and it can help you win a game, but it doesn't win the game for you.
No, you know what? You know what the best unit in the game is now? For fucking Wadroon? Braves.
I think the Braves got the best glow up. I don't think they're the best thing in Wadroon.
I think vets are better, but Braves are like most improved.
Most
This is
improved.
the
Stamp
this is
that
the
on them.
age of line infantry.
The age of giant dino is over. The age of light infantry is now. Okay, God,
I feel like the
Gothmoth,
dinos
calm
came
down.
back though.
No, they
The
have been
dinos, if
coming
anything,
back.
came back. Yeah, like Thunder Riders, they kind of fuck right now.
Apex fucks. That thing is speed 8 for some ungodly reason.
That's
Raptor
true.
Riders.
It's also
Apex
100
Legend is
190
Bottle.
points for the amount of bullshit you get off the Apex Predator. Suppose if
it
you
might
have
be the Apex.
if you have a Predator riding this thing, that motherfucker just gets to shoot his gun for free every turn. Like, the Apex Predator can now do drive-bys.
Hell yeah.
What about the winged predator though? It's on a Quaddle, and the Quaddle is.
Still
I feel like the Quaddle and the Apex are like they're like variations of a similar role. Like you'll pick one or the other, or maybe both, but like I don't know.
like they're good. Both like I played into a Quaddle and it was kind of the thing with the Quaddle that it's like Barrage 5, it's AP1, so you're not really going to be taking too many hits. It's volley 3 though, so it can kind of just fly around and shoot you. That's super annoying. And that's kind of what it's doing. Like it's going to fly over you, do a bunch of damage, it's going to shoot you, do a bunch of damage. It's got fluid so it can 360 shoot, and eventually it's going to like fluid shoot, charge you in the ass and be super annoying. Because it is 15 wounds on Resolve 3 and like Defense 3 and Evasion 2, so it takes a bit longer to kill, but it's kind of a tech piece, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's a
feel
very
like the
good
Apex-
tech piece, but it's still a tech piece.
Nobody
The
wants
Apex
to
is also a tech piece though.
Yeah, but look at that thing.
get
It's
no scoped by
190
that
points.
third. I mean, dude, Wadroon is kind of a tech piece army.
Yeah, like Raptor Riders are also very good right now. They
I
just
feel like
they just get a free volley during their activation. They just
So-
double arch up and shoot their stupid Barrage 2 guns.
the thing about veterans though is that in an army full of like kind of tech pieces, veterans are just a sledgehammer that'll just smash your opponent in the face and then stand there and say, "Yeah, now what?"
Come at me, bro.
Yeah, they're an anvil that like you just rocket launch into your opponent's face and then laugh at them, and then they just score a point that's like would otherwise be contested, and you're like, "Oh, when I said you and what army, I suppose I meant the veterans."
Wow, he has a ton of buffs to fucking everything around him, the chieftain.
Yeah, it's
And-
insane, man.
And then if you make him the warlord, he's giving everyone
All
Vanguard
charging
and the
or
impact +2.
impacts.
And then he's
flurry.
also you're taking him in conquest, you can swap his cult, so you could have defense 2 shielded, so defense 3 rerolling 6 as veterans, who are also wound 6, which is a very tanky stat line.
Like they're really hard to kill, and they just murder the shit out of you, and they're fast. Like, what else do you want?
Yeah.
And they get flurry. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
I do like veterans a lot. I do also want to talk about the Apex Predator, because for 190 points, you're getting a speed 8 monster who's got 11 attacks, 15 wounds, 4 resolve, defense 3. He's cleave 2 with deadly blades, he's got Fiend Hunter, and he's terrifying 2. He's got some impacts, and he's also unstoppable. Like, this thing is an actual working abomination. Like, this is what
I'll
the
tell you a
abomination
story.
wants to be.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you this story about the Apex Predator. I played against Bernie last week. It was his first game with an Apex Predator. The Apex Predator was standing on a point, and I was basically lining up in order to like attack him. But I couldn't just charge him because there's like woods and stuff that he was standing in hindering terrain. And I was like hindering and obscuring, so I couldn't really shoot it effectively, and I couldn't charge it. So if he just stood there, would have been able to hold it. But he charged me. He march charged me, which got impacts onto the shrimp, right? The Siegebreaker.
Yeah.
Siegebreaker activated later and killed it in one round. The moral of the story here is that the Apex is really good if it can hit you first, but it cannot take a hit, really. It melts.
Yeah, that's fair. That's why the Archangel has a shield. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. That's why, like, the Apex is very good at murdering the shit, like just killing a target that is picked out for it. But if it doesn't have that target, and if the target isn't tied up, or like it doesn't operate in isolation very well, veterans can kind of just do whatever they want. They can kind of operate without a lot of support.
What about Cock? There's this one, and then there's one more I want to bring up before.
I mean, there's a big like elephant in the room too, but so
don't say it's the fucking.
In my
Tauntaur.
experience, no, the Tauntaur is fine, but it's also kind of like specific. The Chosen are okay, but the biggest problem is
they get that triple activate.
They're very fast and they can get up there, but the main thing that continues to cause them problem, or like at least in a lot of games that I've played, is you can overextend them easily.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, okay, cool. Even if you kill the thing that they were after, which like is probably going to be screened, and then it's like, oh, okay, they get up there. It's going to take other stuff a little while to like catch up to it. Like only a turn, but in that turn, if you're planning for them, you just kill them. Yeah, exactly. You just swarm them, and then you're like, oh, okay. And then it's like, the danger is if you ignore them, or they come on late enough, and then they just run up and smash a hole through your army, and then just eat everything. And like that's really strong. But if you counterplay them, and you're aware of that, they don't get to do that. Like not usually. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. They're good when they work.
Okay.
Kind of like why Incarnates aren't at the top. Like, excellent unit, but if it fails, like you
we know they'll start getting picked up because you have to deal with them, and then also they're a massive point sink if you're going to try and make them good. Last thing I want to bring up is Thunder Riders with the Thunder Chieftain.
They're looking a lot better than they were.
Yeah.
Well, because you can like threat range 17 to 19 inches with a march charge, and then you're brutal 3 with 4 impacts on trample 2 with Linebreaker. Like, and then if you do get a charge clash, you're still like you'll because your warlord is in conquest all the time, and you can flex into like famine or whatever, or war. You just go into war to cleave 1 on all their clash 3-5 attacks, and they have shocks, so they go up to 4 reroll 6s on cleave 1 if they're close enough. Like Juggernaut's a phenomenal rule on them because they have a massive charge range.
I would even say that. Okay, so
they have flank. You can bring them on turn 3 without any issues. What's phenomenal?
So the way that I would explain this is like vets are like the foot equivalent, and then Thunder Riders are the cav equivalent. You're probably either building like you have to build a list for either of these, but it's like in the foot list it is veterans, and then in the cav list it is Thunder Riders. The thing that just smashes the shit. And Thunder Riders can't take a hit the way that vets can, but they have the distance so that they don't have to be taking those hits, and they'll just kill shit.
Yeah.
So I think they're very close, actually. Like I don't know. It's more like which flavor do you want? Do you want like Dino Cav, or do you want dudes?
Yeah. Tauntaur, is he even in the race? I feel like he's. I think the Tauntaur is
like the Apex.
Yeah, but I don't think he's defining. Cass, what are your thoughts?
So they're all solid choices, except for the Cock, which I think is just
It's the cock
It's a level
falling
1
off.
these days.
Yeah, it's just outpaced by the other options. I think it's probably veterans for me, just because they're such like it's anything that you can buff with a chieftain. So I guess maybe the answer is some flavor of chieftain.
I feel like you kind of want to go with the Thunder Rider Chieftain because it's shock on the entire. Okay, what's he giving shock to? Not you. You. He's giving shock to all the speakers. While the Foot Chieftain is giving a bunch of stuff to all the tribes. Yeah, so you build a tribes or a speakers list.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it literally is whatever flavor
I think that's actually right. Yeah. I think it's like the chieftain. Pick your flavor. Do you want calf flavor or do you want foot flavor? Like are you a foot fetishist or are you,
God damn it.
or are you a dino horse enjoyer?
Yeah. The Tantor is also the speaker, so you will get that shock. Apex speakers, blooded tribes, braves tribes. Chosens are all part of the cults. Hunter speakers. Yeah, it's really between the two, tribes and tribes and speakers. You know what? I'm kind of leaning for Thunder Riders because you're gonna get 2 regiments, and they're guaranteed to be on turn 2, and they're gonna have shock, and you can threat range them from super far away, so you can keep them safe, and they'll do a ton of damage. You kind of just get free reign to just kind of hit people with Thunder Riders. What I like.
So what you're saying is you're a horse enjoyer.
No, have I never not been a horse enjoyer? While the veterans, there's times with veterans where I've just like, oh yes, the veterans, they're going to be super annoying. Flame Berserkers get in the way. Flame Berserkers start being annoying. Get more Flame Berserkers on them and they start getting like cut down.
Yeah.
While the Thunder Riders, I have to respect that threat range.
I think it matters who you were playing though. Right?
I've done it to other people.
Yeah, like what I'm saying is like of your skill level or higher, have you played who is running the veteran, like the foot list?
No, they've been playing the Thunder Riders list.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that's an endorsement. Maybe this is an appeal to strong player authority. Yeah, I'm willing to go. Like, really, what it boils down to is: do you like cav or do you like infantry? Both are really, really strong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We got to pick one though.
Thunder Riders.
Thunder Riders.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thunder Riders are cool.
Thunder Rider. Thunder. Oh. Cool.
We got next.
As
Old Dominion. I'm Morai. Top of my head. Morai.
Are those the Insanity boys?
No, they're the translocation boys. So they march up 20 inches, and then they teleport behind you. Teleports behind you and like beats your ass.
Nothing personnel, kid.
Yeah, like they have Aura Death 5 base. Jesus Christ. On top of Memory Molding for Cleave 1 and Terrifying 1 with 6 attacks.
Yeah, that's good enough. I
haven't.
Cass, I'm already checked out. They're good.
Yeah.
I haven't played against OD in ages, and I haven't I don't play OD like very often. So I don't know. The only other thing I could think of is like, how are the Bongo Lems doing? Like Fallen Divinity is annoying.
She's annoying, but I don't think she's the pick. I would either say so I would say like Morai's, Curies, because Insanity. Thank goodness it got nerfed, but they get a free spell. So you could just double march up 12 and then shoot the Insanity out, what got a range bonus from 14. So you can shoot this out 26 inches and just hit people with a bunch of Insanities, which is still super annoying. It's not as devastating as it was before, but it's still very good.
My brain was constructing just the craziest Jamiroquai Insanity.
Oh my god.
Like, what if you kit bash them to have the little hats, and then when they cast a spell, like, you start moving around? Anyway, I'm not gonna make a full joke, but you, the listener, think about it. Just enjoy.
Yeah, have some fun.
Just have a great time with that idea for free, no problem. That's easily 20 minutes of entertainment that you don't have to worry about.
This is a construct your own joke type of podcast.
Choose your own
Exactly.
joke.
I give you the pieces, but you build the house.
Yeah, it's like a Lego set, you know.
Oh my god. Okay, so the other one I want to talk about is bone golems. They did get nerfed for their aura of death, but I still think their aura of death is fantastic because you could have one stand hanging out, punching people because they take forever to kill, and just hitting them with aura of death 11 every turn.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that. It's just consistent, reliable, helps hold your lines.
Yeah, and
It's the
they're
thing that like gets beefier as your other shit dies. Like, I don't know.
like they're Clash
Good.
2 base, but like once you get that Inspire going, they're gonna go to Clash 3. They're Cleave 2 with Relentless Blows, so their ones explode. What's wonderful for everyone else. And they have Hardened 1 in their Defense 3 base with Aura of Death 5, or the Terrifying 1, but they have Aura of Death 5, but you can Memories of Old twice from the draw event and an action to go up to like 11.
Yeah.
And just be like, ha ha, eat
really
it,
good.
die. And you can just have one stand of them just doing that to somebody and just watching them melt.
Yeah, that's still really good. Like,
Yeah.
sure, AOD kind of got system like nerfed. However, being able to pump out 11 out of one dude is not. That's not a nerf.
No, that guy is killing people.
Yeah,
He does not
and the
respect your
fact that they
family.
have 6. It's like 6 wounds. OD just inherently doesn't take damage from resolve, so that's like you're going to have to do 6 wounds. Like, sure, defense 3, but it's hardened 1. Like, that's Rajkur defensive. Like, that's solid.
Yeah. It's still good. A bit of me wants to go to Canifers, but after reviewing the Bone Golem, I don't even care about the Canifers anymore. Bone Golem is my best friend.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Bone golems are good.
they're so good. So
Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I really want to say it's kind of between like the Moris, the Curies, and the Bone Golems in Old Dominion right now. Athanatoy got a glow up to be actually playable, but I don't think they're good. Like sorry, I still think they're playable. I think they're good, but I don't think they're the best. That should be a better statement.
Okay, Morai can't score.
Nope.
Carries also can't score. So it's a case of they're killing shit, but they're not winning you games. Like,
Yeah, but they're doing it so
I feel
effectively.
like Bone
Yeah,
Golem-
but imagine getting no-scoped by a ghost. Like, that sucks.
Yeah, but that's like saying, like, imagine a T-Rex with an orc on it. Like, that's cooler than that's like the coolest shit. But like,
Well,
is it the best?
Okay, when that thing is like, I'm not actually arguing about coolness. I'm just saying, if you were running up to fight some people and then all of a sudden the ghosts were behind you and they did a 180, you'd be fucking mad. You'd be like, "Oh, god damn it!" That's what you'd say.
It's true. If they could also score, though, then I would 100% be like, yeah.
Yeah, but they
Like-
let the rest of the list score. Like they let the Legionnaires, the Athanatoy, the Bone Golem, anyone else on the list do all that work. They're
Yeah,
just,
but they're
they're
letting the
just
Bone
murder.
Golems, which is another contender, score.
What's fine because they're letting them score. While the Bone Golems before would be too slow and be like, Aura of Death 11.
don't know.
I gotta chew through all this to score. Sad times for Bone Golems.
The thing about Bone Golems is that these idiots don't need. They just run. They just run and they're effective, though. They don't need to try to hit you. They just run up and they're like, oh, what are you gonna do? Like, I guess die.
Well, yeah, but think of it. The Morai are 20 inches up the table, turn 1. Turn 2, they are 40 inches up the table. The table is 42 inches. No, is it? No,
What does
48 inches. So there's 8
yeah.
inches. Yeah, because what else we got?
What do OD have that is fast scoring?
The
Anything?
Cav, the Centaurs, the 2 Centaur units.
One of those come on, though. Are those mediums or heavy?
They're mediums. They're both like speed 8. One of them's got AP1 deadly shot, barrage 3, range 16 bows that are speed 8. And they can memory roll for sheer shot to be always aiming. And then you got the other ones what are like speed 8. There's a fence too, Jesus Christ. Oh, they have a shield though, thank goodness. Cleave 1, they can get brutal impact 1 and impact plus 2. They do not have any impacts baseline. Poor Centaurs.
It's scarcely a horse at all.
Yeah. So they're quick at March 8, but like your legionaries are. Is
So
the
the-
Optio?
the
Yeah, they're
homies
getting
that
Vanguard
homies,
4. They're gonna get +2 on their second march. They're gonna get another +2 inches. So they're gonna go 10, 12, +4, 16. So they're on zones. Turn 2. Unless they got rid of that I don't see.
Yeah, thinking about it more, like I think that those like the light units are what are like letting you lock down those zones on turn 2.
Yeah, like the Morais don't fuck
So-
around. The Curies do not fuck around.
The I don't know. I kind of just like the translocation ghosts.
I
more.
have
They're just
seen it
cool.
in play, and I literally just had Flame Berserks waiting, and my opponent eventually had his Morais go. Translocate, charge, clash.
Just murdered them all.
No, he kind of did some damage, and then I just kind of like mobbed him to death with the Flame Berserks and killed them. But I was also only standing like 12 inches off my deployment, and I didn't move up that turn, so it kept me back more.
Mm.
So it allowed my opponent to get on the zones.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of favor that just because it's like the amount of control it gives you in order to like get everything on, and then
Mhm.
just set up your OZ bullshit of like, oh, the more stuff you kill, the more I just murder you in retaliation.
I'm saying Morai, man.
Yeah,
Cass?
yeah, you convinced me.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I agree.
Oh, here we are, city-states. They've gotten a huge glow up over the past couple years to actually be good.
You've come a long way, baby.
Yeah, they really did. They kind of sucked ass for a while. Like they were good, but also it was just like, oh, and you die. Someone hit you in the side, and then you immediately melt because all your defensive stuff is gone.
So,
Oh, they're
and I've been very mess talking about PB tonight for whatever reason, but they didn't know how to express the faction like their design sort of space properly, so they just wound up being like a bunch of guys who couldn't hit for shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It was like,
Well, they
what's
felt
your
like-
clash too? Do you get inspired?
Run,
No.
hit
Yeah.
in a
they
rank
felt like
and flank
half
game.
of a faction. Like they were missing half of a tool set.
Oh,
yeah,
for
the
sure.
half that could move and hit.
Precisely.
Oh, these poor bastards. I'm kind of looking at some stuff here. I believe they have light scoring. Or is the Thorakides? I think you can get these guys to have light scoring now.
Thorikites.
Sorry, thank you. Thorakites.
I don't care who knows it. I don't know if I'm right. I don't like Thorakides. I like Thorikites.
Sure. You can get them to be light scoring with the standard. I think there was a one that made all your auxiliary stands score somewhere in here. So Thorakides can score now, I'm pretty sure. The resist draw event. Oh, you get Tenacious 1. Okay, cool. Okay, so combined arms drills with a mastery. All auxiliary stands as harmony count as one additional stand for the purpose of seizing objective zones. There we go. So for 30 points, you can make all your light score if you put an auxiliary in them. So 30 Keys, you can spend. Fucking, I don't know. Where are you? What's your auxiliary cost? 60 points. Jesus Christ. But you're gonna do it because light scoring matters.
He's a face smasher. I don't know. He's okay.
Agama. You don't. Here's the other thing. You don't really have to do it because like Minotaurs have like Vanguard on them. Do the Thyrans have Vanguard? Nope. Minotaur Haspins have Vanguard. But also the Chariots are really good scoring pieces, and they have flank still. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there they go. They do have flank, and they have fire in advance, so it's very powerful. Just keep them alive. It looks like their range on the Chariots decreased from like 16 down to 14, and then like 14 down to 12. So thank goodness now they have a harder time running away. But the Chariots are also really good. The Talos, he's just another Hoplite block. You can kill this guy. He's just a big Hoplite block. That's what he really is.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sacred Band are pretty good at 190. Like 5 wounds, 5 attacks, defense 3, 4 resolve, clash 3 with cleave 2, and then they have their 2 spells, and then they can cast their spells. They can get Indom 3 and or heal, and they can cast those spells on anything that also has auxiliary for Sacred Band. Making Clockwork Hoplites medium from the Mechanist Supremacy is also another good one. But to be honest, I'm kind of leaning towards Chariots, and especially the Scorpios. I still think they're really good.
Yeah, chariots are definitely good. I'm just thinking, though, like,
Well, like, the weird thing about City States is that everything is good, everything is playable, you kind of want to pick and choose what you want. They all have defined roles. So
that's what actually makes this so difficult, because they, like, right now they are probably the strongest faction, and the reason that they're so strong is not because it's like there's a single standout piece. It's everything is good and playable, and it works together. It's like being like, oh, which part of your body is more is the best, like
brain,
your
brain,
leg,
brain.
Or your heart.
liver.
No, it's the brain. There's no argument because it's the brain. Because that's the computer.
So by that logic, it would have to be the Mechanist.
No, Pump Daddy. It's Pump Daddy.
We're just forcing it to Pump Daddy just for the glory of the pump.
Yep.
Oh my god, he's 260 base. You give all friendly monsters and 8 of them unstoppable. Nice. For another 10 points. Or all friendly regiments plus 1 impact with an 8 of him. Please. I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably not gonna buy either of these upgrades. He's already fucking expensive at 260.
Yeah.
You know, Pump Daddy is actually also pretty good. He just kind of like...
He's just good without the upgrades, even.
Yeah, no, you don't bother with the upgrades. You fuck those things. He just doesn't want to die anytime soon, but he's not going to win any fights. He's just going to sit on the zone and get eaten.
I kind of like the... I don't know. He's... Okay, the thing that's nice about him is that he is a hoplite block, but, like, kind of in a small footprint. So, like...
Mm-hmm.
You can use him to, like, hold stuff in place and beat them to death, and you don't have to deal with, like, the maneuvering bullshit of the hoplite block, where you're like, oh, great, I gotta, like, move just enough, like, or, oh, I gotta, like, steer around this thing. It's kind of like why the heavy hog is, like, kind of annoying to play, because you're like, oh, I have these giant-ass, like, bricks of dudes, and you're like, oh, cool, I mispositioned them.
Guess I'm fucked. Yeah, like... The Talos just says, screw it, I'm gonna go over there now.
Yeah, monsters don't give a shit. Like, that's the reason I like the shrimp, because it's a very small footprint, and it's very easy to, like, turn and see things. You can get around it. I don't know.
Damn it, is Pump Daddy gonna be the choice? I want, like, there's a bit of me who wants to say the War Chariots, because, like, they did get nerfed where you can only take 2 per slot now. They kind of need it, but like the flank and just their effective shots every turn and being just kind of a pain in the ass to kill with their hardened 1, 10 wounds, defense 3, resolve 3, and their fire and advancing just makes them so annoying to get rid of because you're just going to constantly being hit by. Oh, they're 8 shots now. They actually lost shots.
Yeah.
Thank God, because before they were
at least
dicks.
At least in my experience, like the chariots are like really, really good. Like. They're the thing that like is really good in conjunction with something else, but they by themselves don't do it. You know, like this is part of, again, goes back to what we were saying before. Like the Talos isn't going to win fights by himself, but he empowers everything around him to just murder the shit out of whatever gets pinned down, and he stands on the point and scores it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, things that just like get the job done, and now pick whatever fancy like murder beast you want. Like, I don't know. It's just a very solid anchor.
Cass.
I think it's Big Papa Pump.
All right, I'm agreeing with Pump Daddy on this one. Glory be his pump.
Daddy, baby.
All right, lastly, we have Sorcerer Kings.
What a long and crazy road it's been.
Yeah, don't worry. We got to rank all this bullshit after. Cass, do you have a thought of who
Not
it
a
is?
single one in my idiot head.
Okay.
That
Skillen?
makes two of us.
Oh, okay. Do you want my pick then?
Yeah,
I do actually have opinions on this faction, but go ahead.
I'm gonna go with the Maharaja. He enables the entire
Maharaja.
the entire faction's army rule,
And
and also he can ride an elephant, and he has access to a very large warband. And he's
okay,
got
you know what
good
mine
spells.
is?
Okay, what's yours?
Sardar.
Can I just here? Hold on. You know what? We're just-
Personality higher.
I don't know if the the Maharaja does do a lot. That healing, well, yeah. What does he got? Does he got conflagration? Where is it?
For his rituals?
He does not have conflagration.
What do you mean?
I cannot vote him. Or wait, no.
Yeah, it's a
I'm looking at
ritual.
the wrong one. I'm
Yeah.
looking at this. I'm looking at the sorcerer.
Yeah, no, you don't give a shit about her.
Yeah, has conflag. Can ride the elephant and provides basically like insane amounts of healing to everything. I'm willing to just basically give it to the Maharaja.
Yeah,
Like, I
he
don't
also
know.
his supremacy of when a friendly character stand performs an elemental right action, adds a ritual marker to a ritual that's currently being prepared. You may add one ritual marker to one other ritual that's currently being prepared, and you're usually running two, like a Maharaja, double sorcerer, or two Maharajas, one sorcerer. And then if you're getting really frisky, you grab a Raj because he's going to do the same thing as well. And then you have like
Well, the Raj,
5
the Raj
ritual
got better,
cards,
though.
all getting, and you're getting like 2 per turn on 5 different ritual cards. Because you, on a majority of these rituals, you only need like 5 tokens. Yeah, threshold 5, sorceress. Yeah, you only need 5.
Well, I mean, the most important, like, let's be real. The most important thing is conflagration. Conflagration
Best spell.
Yeah, and you can pump out as many. Like, you're not limited to only charging up one. You can just every time he activates, just start up a new conflag, and then just use everyone else to fuel his conflagrations. Like, why not?
So,
and you get to put a token on it for free because he just makes 2 of them. Like, yeah.
And then you got Arcane Conduit. If you're on a zone, you add an additional one. Like, it's just you're asking for conflicts left and right.
What's the thing that lets you get additional healing?
I believe that's one of his patron gifts.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, this guy just
what the fuck?
fuels the army. It's ridiculous.
Not Jadu.
No, Jadu goes on the sorcerer.
Is it? What the fuck? Yeah, she does want that. It's Elemental Tether. Gives wizard. Oh yeah. Okay, maybe it's one of the masteries.
I can't.
Here we go. The price of the setting sun at the beginning of each round. Prince of the setting moon. My apologies. I'm fucking that one up. At the beginning of each round's victory phase, while this character is on the battlefield, friendly regiments without the elemental special rule within range of objective zone heal 3. I think he had a bubble.
Yeah, so on top of all of the healing that he's getting by casting spells, which is what he already wants to do. I mean, granted, it has to be on the unit.
Elemental feedback? Cast a spell from the Court of Air, Court of Fire, regardless of the target. The regiment this character stands currently attached to heals 2 for every 2 successes. He does not stack.
That one's also... It depends what it's on, but...
Favored. He gets flank on the Mahut as well. That's really good.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
I know it's in here.
I don't know.
I know it's in here. I saw it.
I think it is the one that just like does the extra heal.
Yeah, but it heals non-elemental stuff on zones. It doesn't heal. Yeah. It doesn't do like because I remember the bubble being like 8 inches or something around him, but healed. The elementals.
Oh, and also he can just have like the dancing scimitar or whatever, and you're just like, oh, auto hits for being near him on top of all of that.
Yeah, no, that thing's crazy. It's like, just take it. Just take damage.
Line of sight.
Nope, you
doesn't need line. Just get hit, idiot. Auto hits.
Eye of the Blazing Tempest. When this character stands for an elemental rights action, Friendly regiments with the elemental special with an 8 of him heal. This is it.
Yeah,
It's the Eye of the
that's
Blazing
it.
Tempest. There we go. So it's an arcane
That
ability.
thing.
He can take up to 2 gifts. Yes, he can. So he gets the scimitar. He gets that. That's 60 points, which is a lot. And then he goes and rides a Mahut, and he just fucking Mahuts around.
He just basically
It's
like
your
murders
butt.
everything and heals his army.
Yeah, and he
It's
literally
so good.
makes the faction work. Like, do its whole stick of rituals and all his crap.
Yeah,
Listen,
and
guys.
has conflag, I might add, and double.
I believe it.
Oh, it's so stupid.
Skillen's just having flashbacks right now.
Yeah, well, you played the same army. It's
Yeah.
kind of fucking bonkers. I'm just like, oh, cool. Like, sick. I guess the Maharaja moves up, and then, all the damage that I did throughout the game, that just starts to go away, and I just can't kill that stupid elephant. And I'm like, oh, sick. And then he just pivots, and I'm like, there's a thing he can get too that just fucking kills. Oh, it's a ritual that just kills the marker.
Does he have? Wait, what?
Someone has it, and he can trigger it.
Oh,
and then
wow.
it's just like,
It is him.
Yeah,
Target non-friendly
so, like, this
check
guy
with
is
an 8 just
fucking-
dies with 6 ritual
this
markers.
guy fucks, is
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
You know what? Second best thing in the faction, the Mahut, because he carries this guy around.
It's insane. Like, this character alone, I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ. It's like, yeah, there's the rest of this army, and then there's this fucker. And you're just like, oh, cool.
This
Cool.
motherfucker just keeps doing shit. Yeah, I think it's him. He makes the entire faction work. He's like the biomancer.
And Conflag just hands out triple activations.
Yep. And guess what? The Mahut is an elemental, so it gets to triple activate.
Yep. And to heal, it gets to heal too.
God damn it. Fuck you, Mahut.
So yeah, this fucking thing, like this fucking guy is just, I don't know.
Do not make the Raj your warlord.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah. The sorceress wants to be the warlord, but the Maharaja says, fuck that. I'm in charge.
I'm the boss.
Yeah.
Sorcerer gets Jadu though.
She does get Jadu, but she also, her supremacy is basically just treats all the elemental people as arc nodes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Not as good as this.
Not as good as getting a fuck ton of rituals and just being a douchebag and running around in your goddamn elephant.
I'll just trigger like 4 conflags in one turn, triple activate everything, and just fucking wipe you. Like, I don't know, like, oh, I can shoot further. Like, oh, how many spells you got? Doesn't matter.
Damn.
Yeah, the Maharaja handily.
Okay. So Cassandra, our champions for rising to the top is Archangel, Biomancer, Flame Berserkers, Raiders, Thunder Riders, Morai, Talos, and Maharaja, King of the Fuck. Who is the least best? Who takes spot 8? Is this 8? Yeah, 8. You have heard our arguments for these guys. And I think there's a woman in here. Unless you count the Archangel as a girl.
I do? Why wouldn't you?
Okay. Well, the Archangel has
beautiful.
feminine features. She is. She's a literal church.
So, this is actually tough. I think, probably, controversially, I'm going to say Pump Daddy.
Okay. Why is Pump Daddy number 8?
It just, because he's more of an enabler.
You want some
agree
meth
with
kid?
it,
He just shows up in the white
He's more
van.
like the
Wants some
negligent
drugs.
parent. He's more like the negligent parent, really.
God.
But like he's really solid for what he is, but it's more about what he enables than what he is, whereas the rest of these it's more about like what they are.
Okay, that's fair. Good job, Pump Daddy. You.
Which is wild because probably city states are on the top faction wise, but I think what makes a good faction is how the power is spread out.
Yeah, like everything except for Samurai are good in that faction. Literally everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have the best Monster Mash list. Okay. All right, Cassandra, who's number 7?
I'm also gonna say, and this I might get more pushback on, but probably the Archangel.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Is it because she's an enabler, but she does it better than the Talos because she kind of beats the shit out of people?
No, it's because, unlike I guess the Thunder Riders too, they're all heavies, so they're just
Okay.
they're coming in later and they're not necessarily having as much impact as the other units would. And it's more so like so I think it's kind of in 100 Kingdoms it's kind of a like not an inversion but a symmetry to why the Talos is an incongruous choice for the bottom, because it's like the Archangel is good, but it's more so the way the other stuff is spread around the faction that makes it less. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like, I don't know. It's the Archangel is good, but it's I don't know. It just feels like it's sound.
It just doesn't have that juice.
It does not have the juice.
She's more juice than pump.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, so okay, here's the argument that I'll make. The reason why Thunder Riders score higher than the Archangel is because they're better at getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like she does have a 10-inch minimum charge, which is pretty good, but the Thunder Riders killing stuff 19 inches away is just way better.
Yeah.
It's pretty overwhelming.
Okay.
19 is almost 2 10s.
So then what? Number 6 is Thunder Riders?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
What do you guys think?
Biomancer's faction defining, so he can't go there. Same with the Maharaja. Raiders are just phenomenal light scorers. Flame Berserks are phenomenal light scorers. That pushes the Morai out a lot down the line, surprisingly.
Yeah, so I think
it's
I agree. I think they're the next least good.
Because what? The Morai can hit and be harassment and kind of be annoying early on because they go so far, but they're not gonna they'll kill stuff but eventually die, while the Thunder Riders could just end a game from so far away.
Yeah, like you can't. So there's certain regiments that you can just spam an entire list of and win the game, and Roy aren't that. That's not the only thing, but it's like so their application is valid, but it's narrow. Whereas other raiders can score or they can beat some guys up. Like there's some modality to how you can apply them.
Yeah,
it's so specific to the Old Dominion. It's kind of like how Strix used to be more. Like they do a similar type of thing where it's like, yeah, they can set you up to win the game, but they by themselves can't win the game for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the pass, not the dunk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Talos, Archangel, Morai, then what's next? We got Thunders, Flames, Raiders, Maharaja, and Bio.
I'm actually gonna say Thunder Riders here, just because, and it's not just the heavy thing, but it's also because it's a narrowness thing. Like they're chargers first and foremost.
Would you say they're shock cavalry?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't want to give you that.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, yeah, they're essentially that's really what they are. Like they need to hit those charges, and only that. Because if not, then yikes.
Yeah, you're gonna lose.
Yeah,
you're gonna lose them for sure, and then probably the game because you've invested so much points.
There have been times against Thunder Riders where I've gotten an opening and I've just kind of march charged them and locked them down, and then side hit them with something else. Like one time, I just march charged with Ironclad into them to get on into a zone, do some impact damage, but then they reform to try and fight the ironclad, and it doesn't really work because you're not getting all your bonuses out because you're shock cavalry, and a unit of flame berserkers kind of just like ran over and ate them from the flank and was like, all right, they're dead. Cool.
Yeah. The thing is, once you can start to hurt them, they die.
Yeah.
Which not everything in this game is like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's and even if you're not killing them really fast, like you look at their stat line on paper and you're like, oh, that's not so bad. They can do 2 things, but then you get them into an actual protracted fight and you're like,
they're dying.
They're not good at killing or living.
Yeah, they for sure want to get that charge off.
Yeah, so it becomes a question of scope, I think, for the Thunder Riders, the same way it does for the Moroi. Like they're.
It's kind of like live by the Thunder Rider, die by the Thunder.
Yeah, and to that extent, like, so I think, like, and I, just broadly speaking, like, we can probably argue to split hairs over which is better than the other for Zerks and Raiders, because they, like, if we're going by scope, I guess, like, because they're lights that punch up and can score, so they're literally self-sufficient game-winning pieces in theory.
Yes.
And I think that ultimately they're probably kind of tied for the same spot, just because, like, you can make arguments either way, but I don't know that there's necessarily a super clear winner there.
I would give it to the Raiders because they're 20 points cheaper and do the same thing.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll take that.
They're
also my guys.
Also, you can get 8 of them, while with the Flame Berserks you can only get 4.
Yeah,
so
no, that's fair.
I would put the Raiders ahead of the Flame Berserks.
And so the top spot goes, like, by, I guess, definition, or by like whatever
process of elimination.
Yeah.
Well, because the 2 characters enable everything for their respective factions. Yeah. It's hard not to say, like, those aren't the best.
Okay, well, here. Yeah. As I'm kind of like organizing the tabs. Like, I opened up 8 tabs. In each of the tab is like the faction and the regiment we chose as its champion. So, like, the first 2 is 2 enablers, the Talos and the Archangel. Then we got 2 scalpels in the Morai and the Thunder Riders. Then we got 2 light scorers that are effective of killing and self-sufficient. And then we got 2 faction-defining characters in the Biomancer and the Maharaja. So, like, and we've kind of placed them beside each other. So it was like, enablers, you're last. Scalpels, you're next. Then are you going to say, is the character faction-defining more important than light self-sufficient scoring? Or are you saying light efficient scoring is more important than the characters that enable the entire faction?
I think the lights.
Because I think you kind of have to do it that way. Like, what do you value? Do you value enabling, scalpels, light efficient self-sufficient scoring? Or do you value characters what are faction defining?
Well, so let's approach this from another angle then, as a Spires player, Skillen. Let's take the Biomancer out of the mix, but give you, like, fart berserkers, like the Spires version.
Okay.
Do you win? Like, is that an acceptable trade to you?
Yeah. If I had something that was like equivalent to berserkers. Yeah. Yeah.
You lose the Bioman. Remember, you still keep the.
So you would trade the unit that we've established enables everything that makes the Spires good for light scoring.
Because the things that it does that makes them good is, like, allows you to do a lot of that bullshit. It gives you early game scoring, and then it lets your units actually do enough damage. So if you're just giving me that all-in-one package, just inherently, I don't have to do any of, like, the normal Spires fuckery. That's just simplifying the game plan.
Just have to squirt his fluids.
That's already what Spires wants to do. I just have to do it with 10 steps.
He's got to touch the teeth orifice again to get this machine running.
Yeah. Like, that's what it comes down to. I'm like, oh, I have to do all this bullshit. It's like, oh, you're giving me basically the package that I want, and it's like, well, okay, I still have like enough tools. Like I can get it done with just the Ferromancer. But like, yeah, the reason the Biomancer is so important.
Okay,
is
so
because it gives you
more
early
broadly then,
scoring.
because that's again that's not necessarily what I intended. Because if you're just getting a different bullshit enabler, then I don't think it really makes the same point. Like I'm saying, like you're taking the character bullshit enabler out of the mix entirely and just going stat lines.
Yeah,
You'll
I mean, what
trade
you're
it all
asking
for
is,
light score.
do I think Nords is better than Spires? Yes, that's what it boils out to.
Well,
Yeah,
no, I mean
Nords
it's
is-
so, but that I think it goes beyond that because at that point, like you can, really this game is just like who has the best light scoring.
And it's Nords.
kind of right now. That's how it is. Like, so do you remember the days of?
I'm
the
not
Vanguard
like I
Clone
don't have a horse in
Infiltrator?
this race, but I
No,
just I think that's
No, I think you're dead on though. Like, and I'm agreeing. Like, I'm just saying, yes. Like that's the winning move. Do I think that makes Spires win more games? Probably, because like, well, the stuff that it has like wants those buffs, so it kind of is designed around that. However, if you're just giving me a thing that does like what Spires as a faction tends to do is like they set up positioning and then they can just run in and hit you first and pretty much like cripple you before you get to hit them. If they're taking hits first, they kind of lose. And right now, they also need the Biomancer to give them early turn scoring to get that lead to force the game plan they want.
Okay, I have a question for you.
What's that?
If you could get, you keep the Biomancer in the faction, but these Strix can now score with a Ferromancer Warlord, but there can be no Biomancer in the list. We can only take a maximum of 4 Strix. Would you play a list revolving around that?
I'd have to think about it. If it was like under Spires with like regenerating units, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's like so fucking good. Like and that doesn't violate
Is
any
it
of the
better
things.
than current Raiders?
I don't know if it's better than current Raiders. It's like on par with them at least, though.
Okay, there we go.
Or close.
so.
Light scoring. Good.
Okay, what about the Maharaj then? Like, is it the same deal there? If they
the
got Raiders,
Maharaja-
would that just be they could deal without?
They tried to do it with goals, but they can only. But it's kind of like the Arjun Kirawa with the Flame Berserks. If you don't take the Hold Ray, where you got to get a spell off to make the goal scoring.
Yeah. I think the problem is that because they don't have enough other things to like work, like the faction is just so heavily like dependent on the shit that the Maharaja does. Like the Maharaja, I think, is like better than the Biomancer for this exact reason.
Okay, moving that.
He's giving so much stuff to his, like he gives so much, and it's every turn, it's all the time, and he doesn't have to really pick that much between what he's doing.
Okay,
like
so
that's it's just wild.
Okay, so archetypically then, we're saying that the enablers are at the bottom.
Yep.
It's not great news for me. But then it's the scalpels.
Well, they like being at the bottom, right?
Yeah, aren't you?
Not all of us.
Cass is trying to be a scalpel, but keeps getting trapped with the enablers.
So then we've got the characters. Like the faction enablers in the second spot.
I would say the faction definers, and it would be Biomancer then
faction definers, sure. And then we've got light scoring. So that to me, honestly, like
light scoring.
It points out a huge problem that I didn't intend to like make or discuss in the course of this, but like the presence of light scoring, everything flattens around it.
So you remember when Vanguard clones could take the high clone and the high clone was able to score?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that was single-handedly the best thing in Spires. Biomancer was never taken.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. God. Fuck.
Yeah.
So, that being said, like when you're bringing that up, I'm like, yeah, if we could go back to those days, like sure, I'd take that. Like that fucking ruled, right? And on top of it, like Vanguard clones were like fucking I was killing like huge blocks of like
back when
OD infantry. It was ridiculous.
Back when characters had weight and movement, like you could do the same thing you could have hard mommy come in a regiment of lights, get on a point, score it, and then have her seek new escort into more durable mediums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
This game had some wild shit in it.
So
the mimic assassin trying to still be useful and failing.
the inescapable conclusion from this to me is just that like they need to take out light scoring, like
yeah, probably.
just like it just needs to go. Like I don't even think one faction should get it because it warps everything.
Oh yeah. Like
they pried it from Spire's fucking wretched fingers, and then were like, "Oh, this is too dangerous. Better hand this out like candy." And I was like, "You know not what evil you have unleashed upon the world."
Yeah, they took it away from 100k. They still they kind of fucked around with it in Dwagholm until it got to its current position, and then Dwag Castle was better at the time, and now it's like you played Fast Dwag. Wadroon, I don't think Wadroon ever had light scoring ever. It was in the characters. They took that away and never gave it back. They were like, no, bad Wadroon.
Well, they addressed the one anus to turn off the light scoring, and then they just didn't turn on another anus.
It is a kind of an interesting thing to look at, though. Like, so City States of Talos, 100k with Archangel being enablers, Old Dominion with Morai, and then Wadroon with Thunder Riders to be as Scalpels, Spires with Biomancer, and Sorcerer Kings with Maharaja to be faction-defining characters that make everything else in the faction actually work, and then self-sufficient light scoring in Dwagholm and Nords. Like, I'm kind of like I do like that curve is there, and it kind of shows like what players value in their regiments to be that number one thing in the entire game. And how that warps lists and everything. Like it is very interesting to see, and how we kind of came to that conclusion unintentionally, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like we were just trying to find good regiments or characters or whatever.
Yeah. And like again, I just keep thinking back to like when you could put the High Clone in the VCI and he could score. That was clearly like that would have been like it was in literally every Spires list, and if you weren't doing that, you were stupid.
It was insanely powerful and easy to pull off.
Yeah, it was just so good.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, in a heartbeat, I would take that back. It was like that was amazing. It was super fun, and it just ruled.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, that's inherently the strongest thing you can get in a unit. Like that is what the best unit in the game is defined as. Again, like self-sufficient, light, that scores.
Yeah. Wow. Good job, Nords. You did it. You're finally the greatest thing ever.
Nords have been good for a long time.
They have. They really have. They've been good for so long.
Like, all that this suggests is that some Nords players, you're all fucking down players. Like, look, I play fighting games. I know all about this shit. You're just down players. You're like, oh, it's not so good. Oh.
You know what? Okay, here. Hold on. The Nords chat has been doing a lot better since
yeah, that's fair.
Like 6 months or I don't know, maybe even a year.
You
know what? Actually, probably around like April, it got a lot better.
Yeah,
and it's just. I'm not gonna lie, Spires has actually improved as a chat, and people are actually wanting to play Nords. Sorry, not Spires. My fucking god, Nords. Nords as a chat has greatly improved, and Nords players have been like finally coming out, and they'd be like, "Oh, okay, this is how you do stuff. This is how you play the faction. This is how you get good at the faction, and not just like whining and crying about their shit." It's like, no, Nords has always been strong. Just people were playing it poorly.
Yeah,
because it's not like, especially for this game, for how killy it is. Nords isn't really a great faction to start with because all your shit explodes, but all your shit also punches up and kills other shit very effectively once you get it off.
I mean. Or you could see this as, because the game is so killy, Nords is a perfect faction to learn from, because they teach you the mindset you need in order to be successful at the game, which is don't get hit and hit.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yep.
Take up the correct space, position. Like that's what the game is. Like, I don't know.
Give up your crutches. Let go.
Yeah, exactly.
Play Nords.
That's kind of like my mentality on why I decided to play Spires first, because everyone's like, oh, it's a hard faction to play first. I'm like, I don't know, compared to what?
Compared
Like
everyone else, Nords compared to Nords.
Well, I don't know. It's like, yeah, you have a lot of things that don't take hits very well, but like, I don't know, you can also do some stuff. You just need you need to, like, the thing about playing Spires is that what makes an effective Spires player is learning to play the faction to an extent. Like, on top, like, aside from like learning what everyone else's like lists do and like so on and so forth, general game knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But the specific things about getting good at playing Spires is playing Spires and learning how to use your tools properly. It'd be like being like, oh, well, if you want to learn how to play Sorcerer Kings, what you should do first is play like Old Dominion. Like,
No.
How does that help you?
No, it doesn't.
Like, it makes no sense.
If you wanted to learn how to play Sorcerer Kings good, you should make a Raj your warlord and play a bunch of Sardars.
That's the spirit.
What you need is to start our max. All Sardar,
so
all Rajkur,
bad!
all day.
Start max.
Oh my god. It's okay, guys. He's 70 points.
Look, that's like saying, like, oh, what you need to do to learn to play Spires is just max out the Mimetic Assassins. Just as many as you can take. Mimetic Assassins and Force-Grown Drones. The enemy will never see it coming. And Abominations. That's the way.
If you can win with those, you'll make it anywhere.
Oh my god.
Really limitless potential.
I wish I played more so I could just do dumb meme lists, because I would be like, alright, I've taken 6 units of MSU Force-Grown Drones and 6 Abominations. And I have 4 Mimic Assassins, or I guess 2, because they're characters, 2 Mimic Assassins. Let's go.
Okay, that could be really funny if you put the bombs in all the Force-Grown
Oh,
Drones.
you're 100%
like,
putting the bombs in the Force-Grown Drones.
I guess, like, yeah, maybe you take like a Biomancer or 2, and then you just like explode them, and then like by exploding them,
So
like you
stupid.
explode them, and then you let the enemy like kill them, and then they also just explode again, and you're like, oh, time to detonate. We need a. It's like the
It's the exploding hollows from
Diablo
Dark
build?
Souls, where they're just like running at you and then jumping and exploding. They're like, ah! You're like, oh, get the
I was
fuck
thinking
away!
of you know the Diablo 2 Necromancer like corpse explosion.
Oh
build?
yeah.
It's kind of like that. You're just like, boom, boom, oh, I'll just explode everybody.
the
Everyone
corpse
is a bomb.
The Necromancer with the corpse explosion build. He's like looking around. There's no bodies. Oh fuck!
Well, he could just like raise some up. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
it'll
know,
be
he has
fine.
healing. It's not. I don't know. It's okay. Like he's the big thing is that he can heal his unit, and you do not want his unit to take damage. So, and if you roll a 1, it sucks.
I think the Ice Jotnar went up 10 points.
Ice Jotnar is good, though.
Yeah, it's good. It's
I
got
don't
beats
know.
people over the fucking head.
Nords is very strong right now.
I
Quadroon, City States, all.
I was
Very
reading
good.
Carl lists, and I'm like, I don't want to buy 4 boxes of gold or beast pack, but I kinda do. Okay. I'm really happy with this one. This was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel pretty confident with that.
Yeah, people should like that one. So talking about people, join the BonkTable Discord. Link in the description below. Subscribe and like the stuff on the BonkTable YouTube channel. The BonkTable. Yeah, we also want your money. Also don't have a Patreon still. And join Cassandra at what's your Twitter again? BonkTable Cast.
It's BonkTable Cast, yeah.
Perfect. Join BonkTable Cast to see whatever else she is doing. But with that,
I think I
It could have been
did something on
bonked
there
up
recently.
cast.
Never too late.
my head
I mean,
has hit this
it's
desk
true.
so many times. I just mute the mic at this
oh,
point. And I just go
here
like,
you go. Actually, here's a little preview of what you get by following the Cassandra BonkTable Discord. Today I tweeted, Trench Crusade fans are leaving money on the table by not calling the artillery witch Bommy Mommy. No.
Nice.
oh my god, that's so good. I will always refer to her as that. Oh,
Yeah, so
this
just
is-
be aware, that's what you're missing out on.
oh my god. Okay, so Thank you, Skillen, for joining us in your first ever BonkTable episode as our intern. You do not get paid for this, and you're expected to show up every time we do this. So I expect results from you. Do you two have anything else to say before we sign off?
Bye.
Perfect. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.